Yo, 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 thank you for tuning into the channel. I'm going to do this sort of live. It's not really live, but it is sort of live. I'm working on a website for a customer of mine. We're building a demo site first. Once it gets approved, we'll migrate everything over to the main domain name. And I figured I got to do this anyway. I got to finish this up. So I might as well just work on this and hopefully you get some value out of it. I'm going to be using Claude Code inside VS Code. And if you don't know what that looks like, let me just move my thing over right now. So this is the actual website I'm working on, okay? And then this is what Claude Code looks like, right? So right in here, I've got like a bunch of files over here with plans and, whatever, right? A bunch of different projects and stuff, plan documents, all kinds of stuff in here, right? And then what I do is I'll go in, and this is, the coolest thing about Claude is you can pretty much have it do whatever you want and you can organize it however you want as well. So I have like a project here that organizes all of my customer stuff and it connects to high level and stuff. So we're working on this website right now, and this is going to be a demo website, right? So I'm just going to, this is a folder here. So I'm just going to copy this path, plug it in here. And I also talk to my computer to do most of this work here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is on my computer, I just have this little thing. I think it's called Aqua. And it should be on right now. So I'll show you how this works and we'll go from there. All right. I do apologize for the black strip on the bottom. I don't know if maybe I'll put something there eventually. I also have to move, if I'm over here typing this, it looks like I'm off camera. Give me one sec. Because the bottom line is I'm not trying to, let me just move this. Whoops, I don't want to scale my face. Hold on. There we go. Okay. We need less of this side. There we go. Okay. So that should be better. Adjusting that. Okay. And then the text here, maybe I'll just make text here. Maybe I'll do that. Let's see. I wonder if I can just put text, image file, text. Here we go. Maybe add source. Add source. Maybe not. Let's see. Text. Hello. Let's see what that does. Nope. Didn't do anything. Sorry, I was going to try to put some text down the bottom here just to describe what this video's doing. Oh, here we go. Boom. How crazy is that? Okay. So we're getting used to this. Let's do this real quick. We're going to edit this. And we're just going to say something else, okay? Working on finishing a website using Claude Code and WordPress. Boom. Now, we can just do that. We're going to hit done. This is great. Okay. I can shrink this. Oh, almost. Maybe it's got to be on separate lines using Claude Code and WordPress. Here we go. Okay, cool. Now that is, it's got to be moved up a little bit. That's going to really bother me. Okay, now if you like what you see in this video, like and subscribe. I'm going to be trying to do this a lot more often, but for now, we're going to get right in here and we're just going to start recording. We've already been recording, but we're going to actually go in here and start asking, hey, update this, okay? All right, so we are working on this particular website right now, and we have a few pages we have to finish building. I cannot remember where the planning docs were or like where we left off on here. I think we were on some of the county pages. So I think we need to build a couple more county pages and then maybe an FAQ page and stuff. So let's just get back into it. Let me know where we're at. Just research the project real quick. Let me know what needs to be finished. And also, I already have a few edits that I'm going to give you for the about page and a few other things. But while you're researching that, I'll organize what I need to give you for edits, and then we'll go from there. Also, make sure you're using Supabase to find the right website ID. This website is a demo website right now, and it is live, so you can use the WordPress MCP and the theme or whatever. And then, sorry, it's not the WordPress MCP. It's the plugin that we've created there. You can use that to check the live pages, and everything should be in sync right now. Okay, so then we just let that rock out. It will respond. And I put that on my other screen here. So now the goal with this next little edit here is like this image is too low, right? This is like, I've put quite a bit of time into this, but you can see the homepage looks really dope, right? Can you see the homepage? Yeah, great. So huge thing here. There's a ton of empty space up top here, which I'm trying to remove. So I'm going to move that up like this, and then so I got to remove that padding at the top. That could take a second. For some reason, it just hates removing padding. There's also not really any call to action button in this area here, so I'm probably going to add a call to action button here. And then again, there's no call to action here, and there's a call to action there, but I want another button there. Just like this, like we have a couple call to action buttons here. So I want to add that, and then later we'll update phone numbers and contact info and all that sort of stuff as well. But we're also working on a service area here, so we're building this out. Again, you see the padding here, like each one of these pages has, like this has a ton of padding too. This should be up here like this, and then there should be some sort of banner right here or some call to action button here to get a quote or whatever, and then another button here. So there's several things we have to do here, and it's going to take a sec for me to do that. But you can also see that this bar right here is blue, like a dark blue, with a light blue button, which is cool, but it just doesn't fit the same vibe. Like this one here is a lot better because it pops, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to update that as well. What else are we going to do? Probably more call to action buttons, honestly. Service area, contact. We've got to get an image for this page here. And these cards shouldn't be white. I feel like maybe that should be something else. I don't know. I got to figure that out. It's not perfect, right? People think, oh, I'm just going to make a website and have AI do it all. And it ain't that, bro. Like it ain't that. It just ain't that. I can do a lot of it myself. If I had a regular builder, but basically what I did is I built this out so it could help me, from Claude Code, just update small little things like that. And then it's really good at just making like big pages really fast, you know, which is pretty dope. So while it's doing that, yeah, we're just gonna, it's fetching stuff over here, and I can't really show you this stuff. There's like codes and things that connect to the WordPress plugin that I made, and then there's a theme that I made as well, and it sends the information to WordPress, and it also stores it in a database, so we have a backup, that sort of thing, if you're interested in the geeky side of things here. But over on my other screen, Claude's just going to town working on stuff. So let's see. And really, you kind of don't even know what it has to do. Like you as the viewer don't really need to know what's going on in the background, because like I know what's going on in the background a little bit, but not really, because Claude Code just sort of does what it wants to do, you know? Okay, so it did respond. Let's bring that over here, and we'll update this. So let's just see what it says here. Okay. 4 pages live, published, bridge confirms all published status. And okay, cool. So yeah, we've got a couple pages. Plymouth County Hub is the only county page, 2 pages. Okay. What was next per May 10th? The handoff MD, the phase 2 plan is the Plymouth. Okay. Brockton, Towns, Math. Okay, women. FAQ, not in the strike list. Okay. We need to add that, huh? Then expand to other county hubs. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we are just doing that. I'll wait for your edit list. Okay. So first, let's just work on the edit list, right? So what I'm going to do is just tell Claude. What I like to do is I have a software or something. I didn't make it, but it's like Command Option Shift 4, and what it does is you can screenshot the area, and then it'll pull up a way to edit it. What the heck's it called? It's called Xnapper, okay, or Snapper, I don't know. But then what I like to do is go up in here and I can say, hey, we have all this extra space up here that needs to be removed, right? So then I save that. And then I pause as I go to my desktop screen real quick. And then I basically throw that image into Claude. And then I, like this here, I throw this image into Claude. Let me close this too. I throw this image into Claude and then I say, all right, so there's a lot of empty space, almost like there's too much margin at the top above this section here. I feel like there's two columns and then there's just too much padding or margin at the top of this. Can you remove that? I want everything to be above the fold and make sure you don't have to scroll before seeing the call to action buttons on mobile and stuff too. And this goes for every page. There's quite a significant chunk of empty space that could be used in a better way down the page. We could just move this stuff up. This goes for the home page, the About Joe page, the service area, and the contact page. Okay. And then what it's going to do is it's going to look at the, oops, I wasn't sharing that. So here we go. I gave it I dropped the photo into Claude, and then I just basically wrote a huge chunk message here for it. And then what's going to happen is it'll read the file. It'll ask me to read the file. Maybe it's already reading it. And then it's going to say, yeah, no problem. We will fix that. And then it will fix it, which is great. So let's see what it says here. I got to be really careful with what I'm showing you over here, but all of this stuff on the website's public, so I don't care. Working on finishing website using Claude Code and WordPress. Let me check the 3 other pages to confirm the pattern. Yep, there you go. So boom, now it's trying to confirm the pattern. All right, let me move this out of the way for real quick. Okay. So right now it's going through each one of the pages. You can't really see it, but it's going through each one of the pages. And what it found was there's quite a chunk of padding at the top. It said, found it, all 4 pages have the same pattern, starting at 76 pixels. So basically what it has right here is there's an extra 76 pixels of just empty space that's not needed. So it's going to go through there and it's going to remove that. And then it's going to publish it. And then we're going to see the changes. Usually I have it edit it locally first before it goes up here, which it still might actually do, but I'm having some issues getting it live. Like I optimized too much and now it's asking me for too many things, and it's also not just getting like straight to the fix sometimes. So it is sometimes I'm like, man, it would have just been easier for me to just build this out. Like maybe design it in Claude and then just build it out in like Divi or WordPress or something. But that's not always the case either, because I can't build a page this fast in like a couple of minutes, you know what I mean? And this will save it, and then it'll be able to duplicate this page, make edits for a new service page and all that sort of stuff. So, okay. We're going to exit out of that. We're going to close this. It's over here searching, trim. Okay, so right now it's trimming the hero paddings, push pad, trim edits to demo site, single bar Chrome, no header issue, just the, okay, here we go. So now you can see right here, it's wanting to remove that excess padding at the top, and I'm just going to say go for it. And that's the index page, which is the home page, okay? So then it's going to say, okay, great. Now that's done. Let me go to the contact page. Let me go to the about. And it's going to try to find where that gap is at the top there. And you're not going to see an instant, the way my thing's set up right now, you're not going to see an instant change unless I open up the actual website locally, which I will do actually. I'll show you. So right now you can see that it removed, now it almost removed too much padding, but that's fine. So now if I go mobile view here, that actually looks pretty good. You can see there's a cash offer here, and then you can see that it's above the fold when we zoom like that, right? So it did fix it. It said Do you want me to push now so you can verify, hold and batch edit until you want to push all of them? Yeah, okay. So basically what it's doing now is it did this and then it's not connected to, we're going to close that. 1 second. Okay. Let's see. Push now. You said you have more edits to come. Yeah. So now I'm gonna give it more edits because it basically did that, right? So I'm gonna say we need a call to action button, a CTA button in this section right here. 3 steps, done in about a week. I'm probably just gonna put a light blue button like right here, right? But I'm just gonna explain it to it. It has a good sense of what needs to happen. All right. So we're gonna add some call to action buttons. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna say. Okay, that looks good. Now for the next chunk of edits here, I don't think we have enough CTA buttons on the page, on the home page. And in the section that says how it works, 3 steps done in about a week, I want a baby blue CTA button underneath the 3 cards that say call me or submit. Okay. And then in the section that says what or why sell to Joe, under there is a CTA button with a banner that goes across, which is fine. But then in the dark blue section below that, there is no CTA button. So underneath Joe and it says the owner, right? Put that CTA button there and make that baby blue as well. Use the same cash offer button, the get cash offer button that is in the final CTA right above the footer at the bottom. And then for the frequently asked questions or the comment questions section, underneath those blue cards, there should be a CTA as well, but maybe we don't need it there actually. Maybe that final CTA acts as a better CTA. So really we just need a button in how it works. We need a button in the story part there. That's just for the homepage. Okay. And then what it does is it doesn't actually enter over here. So now I have to paste it right here. So I'll go paste. Now it's all in there, and now it's just going to keep editing. That's it. And then it's just going to go down the page and find out where these buttons are. It's going to update the buttons. And at the same time, if I gave it more things to do, it would chunk it together, and then it would give it to another agent, which honestly sounds like I'd probably want to do that anyway. Surface areas. This one's actually looking pretty good. I'm just trying to tidy up these pages before I start duplicating things, you know, and bringing them to the next phase here. Man, that looks so much better when it's rolled up like that. Even if it is extra close to the top, I think it looks so much better. So it's searching patterns right now. Trying to find what the heck I'm talking about. Okay. Maybe while it's doing this, sometimes what I'll do, maybe I won't do it for this video, but sometimes what I'll do is I will, I'm actually going to auto edit that. So I just turned on auto edit. If you don't know what that does, you see this right here. It says accept edits. So right now it's going through and it's finding the edits. Okay, it's going to be like bop, bop, bop right here. Boom, it wants to change it. And you can see that it changed it right here without asking my permission. I trust it at this point. It's a very simple task. It's not like it's, hey, build a multi-million-dollar business for me. Auto edit. You know what I mean? It's very much like, hey, I just need a couple buttons on the page. It already knows what I'm looking for. And it's just going to give me that, right? So there we go. Ready for the next batch whenever you are. So it did that. So now what I'm going to do actually is I'll bring it back over here so you can actually see it. And let me just go to this page and see if it actually did it. I'm going to hard refresh the page. And then as I scroll down the page, it added a get cash offer button. It has a get cash offer button here, which we already had. It has another get cash offer button, which looks kind of weird, but on mobile, it's going to be so helpful because if you look, this is just for conversions, right? There's a cash offer there, and then you have all this text, then you have a cash offer. Then you have all this text, no button, then you have a button, okay? So you want to make sure there's buttons spread out as you're doing this. It'll help a lot with conversions, okay? So, ready for the next batch of edits when you are. Okay, let's go to the about page here. and I want to like figure out, oh yeah, let's do this edit real quick. Okay. Okay, this is looking good. On the About page, we have a dark blue banner that says, want to see what your house is actually worth. That banner should really be the same banner that's on the homepage, where it's that baby blue color or the sky blue color with the dark CTA button on it. So that's got to happen. And then there is a dark background for the hero section, and then there's a dark background right below it, and then it's white, then it's dark, then it's white. I'm almost wondering if we add a white banner below it. So actually, you know what? As I'm thinking about this, take that, want to see what your house is actually worth, take that banner, change it to white, and move it up and drop it right below the blue hero section. All right. And then we'll go from there. So it'll be a dark blue hero section, a white banner with a dark blue CTA button. That'll scroll to the darker blue gradient section for the About. And now that brings me to the next point. In the About, I want that photo moved up. It's like centered. So maybe what we do is like on desktop, that photo is actually sticky at the top of those columns. And then as you scroll through the story, that photo might stay there on the screen and remain sticky until you hit the bottom of that. And we're going to do the same thing in this section where we have those CTAs. We need the CTA buttons on this page as well. And honestly, while we're at it, just make sure that the service area page for Plymouth and the contact page also have the CTA buttons that are spread out in almost every section, and make sure that it contrasts the background perfectly. Okay. So when I click out and I start messing around with the website and stuff, it actually doesn't allow me to just paste that in there. So it is going to do that. While it does that, we just wait. And this is all I do. Literally, I just sit here, and some models are faster. Sometimes you can lower the effort. Like for this one, I could probably have a lower effort and this could be a lot quicker to do. But like that, like I just said, hey, I figured out that you can actually do what I'm asking, right? I said, hey, you replace the button on the homepage. You did it perfectly. So now I trust that you can do that. Why don't we do the same thing on all the other pages? Like that right there would take me a lot longer. Some of the other things where it's like, hey, can you change the spelling of this? Like it'd be a lot faster if I could just go in and text or like change the text real fast. You know what I mean? But for something like that, where it's like one button on all pages and you change the text and it's good to go on all pages. Like right now I could say, hey, make all the buttons say get cash offer, and make sure the G, the C, and the O in get cash offer are all capital. Right? And it would go through the whole site and just change all the buttons in one go, which is like really where the time saving happens. Because if you mess up the first template that you've duplicated to like 20 different pages, it becomes very difficult as a human to go in there and edit all these. It's going to just suck up so much time, you know? So yeah, so it's doing that now. It's searching patterns. I actually gave it quite a bit of stuff to do. So we'll see how it works. Get cash offer. Also, let's just make sure that it pops up the, oh, it's not doing that. Cash offer, get cash offer. Oh, we need to make sure that is working. Hold on. Maybe opens a survey. That's another thing. Notice how this doesn't, when I click this, it doesn't open up the offer, which is interesting. I wonder if the actual site does. I don't think so. Oh, weird. So the actual site opens up that pop-up, but the local one doesn't. That's weird. I'm gonna have to ask it. What's going on there? Also, is it weird that the CTA buttons, the things that say get cash offer, don't open a pop-up modal locally? On the actual live website, it does open a pop-up modal, but I don't know what happened locally where it's not reflecting the same thing. So I'm worried if we republish what we have locally, it's actually going to not publish the pop-up modal. It's going to like republish and write over that, which is actually a functionality that we need, right? We need that cash offer button to open that modal. Okay, so I just interrupted it while I was making edits, which I don't always recommend you do, but this is a pretty big one, I think, so. Yeah. it says it says continuing with the edits, and then I'll address your modal question right after, which is great. So thanks. You sit back, just have a sip of water. You know, what else do you do? I have another monitor over here. That's why I'm always looking over here. Okay. So every time it refreshes like that, every time we're looking at this refresh, every time it refreshes, it will, let me pull up the about so you can actually see what's going on here. So this is the about that it's working on right now. So it removed all that padding at the top, which I'm actually going to, I'm actually going to have it add like, I don't know, maybe 25 pixels at the top for padding or something. Oh, look at that. See, that looks a lot better. So it's dark blue, white here, dark blue, and then it's working on the sticky photo there. Hold on, let's see what it says. All right, hold on. I don't know if I can show you this because it's showing me like some code stuff too that might be getting mixed up. All right, about page is done. Let me address your modal. Is it done though? Like, because that photo doesn't look sticky. All right, we'll mess with that in a second. Why the modal doesn't open locally and why publishing won't break it. The modal isn't the page file at all. Here's the architecture. The modal lives in global. Oh, okay, perfect. All right. When you open one of the local files in a browser, one of the global runtimes. Okay. What happens when we publish via, okay, it's not touch options. If you want, I can run that as part of the push. So we explicitly confirm before and after, but functionally there's no risk. Push anytime. Okay. All buttons. Okay. About the page. All buttons. Okay. They'll trigger. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you for explaining that. For the about page, the image in the My Story section there is not sticky. For some reason, it's not sticking to the row or something. It's not staying on screen while the column to the right scrolls up. That's what I want. So maybe you stuck it to the top of the column, and maybe that's what I requested, but that's not actually what I want. I actually want that photo to sort of float in the first column while the story or the About Us text on the right, on desktop only, floats up past the photo. So it's almost like the photo's static and the website sort of scrolls up while that photo stays static. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's doing that. You really got to know what you want from AI. Otherwise, you're going to get a bunch of slop. This button looks a little small, doesn't it? Is that the same size button? Is that the same size? No, that's not the same size button. Absolutely not. Yeah. It's trying to use that button. We're not doing that. That cache offer button needs to be centered as well. That's offset. So we're going to have to center that. See all those little things? There's like little shit that just, like, come on, man. Okay. And then I'm also going to tell it what it looks like what it's doing is it's using that baby blue button, left justified, for some reason. This is actually a really cool section. There's like a gradient overlay that overlaps 2 sections there, which is kind of dope. I don't like the dark blue to dark blue, and I'd never do that. So maybe I'd have like a white strip here or something. I don't know, but yeah. 2 bugs killed the sticky. Okay, found bug 1. Oh, you gonna fix it? Fixing both. Okay. Thought it just said found it, but didn't fix it. There we go. Look at that. See? Look at you getting what you want, huh? Look at this. Hey, how great is that, huh? That would take me a while to code out, I'll be honest. I mean, if I were to do that with like a manual builder, I'd have to get in there and adjust the timing of that, and it stops perfectly right there at that section, which is fire. All right, let me know if the sticky behavior is right. Then I'll move on to Plymouth and contact page. Yeah, okay, that's good. And then, all right. Yeah, the sticky is working just fine now. Before we move off of this page, I feel like there's a few things we need to address. Remember, we removed the 76 padding from the top of all the hero sections. I actually want some padding there. So maybe we increase whatever we have right now by like 20 pixels or something, just to bump down that eyebrow header thing that you like there. That one there. And then the dark blue CTA button that says get cache offer in the how it works section, which is center justified, which is fantastic. But the button itself does not match the same size as the baby blue button that says get cache offer in the section above it. So it looks like you just sort of took that from maybe the white banner and put it down there, but we don't need that. We want to create a new button variation there. And maybe even increase the size of the one in the white banner. So if you don't want to create a new button variation, then maybe increase the size of the one in the white banner as well to match the size of the get cache offer baby blue button that we have. And that baby blue button looks like it's automatically just left justified. And in the section for my promise, it needs to be center justified, and it's not right now, it's left justified. Okay. So once again, if I was just using my own builder, right? Like if I was in Divi or WordPress, I'd just click on this button, I'd increase the size, I'd be happy with it, I'd save, then I'd right click and I'd copy that and go apply those settings to any of the other buttons, right? So there's certain things like this where if it does mess up on these little things, it's actually quite annoying to go in and fix because it takes so much time to do and it just refreshes constantly like that. Okay, so there we go. Did it add 20 pixels? That looks a little bit better. It's less 28 pixels. Okay. Let's see what it looks like on the homepage. Yeah, that looks a little better. It's not like cramped up here. That looks good. Okay. And usually what I would do, honestly, this is what I would do. I would probably have, like, if I were to do this right here, right? That's sort of what I like the homepage to look like, where the white is at the bottom, like down here, but we just don't have a ton of text here. Usually you'd have a button here or something, and it just doesn't have that same effect. So ready for Plymouth Contact or another? Okay, now the dark. Okay, let's see the about. Scroll down here. That button matches. That button is now to size, which is great. Get cache offer. Okay, now this is one of those things where I'm going to tell you, like, this is pretty sick, right? So I'm going to go back in here and I'll bring over Claude. So this is pretty dope, right? So I'll be like, okay, this is fantastic. Could you just get back to me real quick about how many different button variations we have? And the reason I'm asking for this first is because if I just go tell it to change something, it's going to change like one of them and not all three. If it says, hey, we have 3 different button variations, I'm going to be like, okay, on each one of those 3 different button variations. And now I'm talking the same language that it understands versus like me just being like, replace buttons, make caps, you know, like it's just going to be like, okay, on what button, on what page, and it's going to just guess and then try to make me happy. And then in the end, it's probably not going to make me happy. So I don't know if we're already 30 minutes in here on this video. I mean, maybe I'll keep going with this. If you guys like this sort of stuff, comment below if you want more videos like this and if you want longer videos like this as well. But I could sit here for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours just making this stuff. Usually I don't work on one website at a time though. Usually I'm doing this and then I have another website that I'm working on, or I'm working on my own project. But I'm testing this out to see if I can record live without like losing quality while also providing you with a good experience and being able to give Claude enough CPU to like make these edits and stuff as well. So I'm testing here. All right. So, okay. It says we've got, there are more than I'd like. Here's the inventory. It's so funny. In page button styles inside use. Okay. CTA strip big. Okay. The 2 issues worth flagging: 2 parallel Navy pill systems. Right. See, so it's already getting a little messy here. Cleanup options if you want to consolidate. No need to decide right now. 1 minimal, just upsize homepage to match abouts. So the classic, yeah, okay. And consolidate. Pick 1 canonical big, okay. For now, functionality is fine. Yeah, this is exactly why I'm asking, because I feel like we have a bunch of different button variations right now. And I really just want a few variations, but the ones that are used most consistently should be saved as a particular class type. So we have one center aligned variation or something like that for the baby blue. Maybe we have one that is the dark blue one, but they're the same size, right? We don't have to guess about this stuff. And then we have a dark blue one up in the header, which might actually have to be smaller because the header is not as big as some of these sections here, you know? So I can see a world where we might have 4 variations, but I want to make sure that on all 4 of these variations, we aren't creating more variations later on unnecessarily, but I also want to make sure that if we have to edit one button style, for instance, I'm about to ask you to change the text on the button and make sure that each word has their first letter capitalized so it feels more like a call to action button. I want that to be able to be a thing without you having to guess which button style type you're going to have to edit first, and you'll know exactly which ones to edit. But I want it on all of them. I want them to be cohesive across the board here. Okay. And then it's going to be like, damn it, Isaac, stop asking for super requests. That was weird. Like I just got mail there, but I didn't. So actually all of this is being edited locally first, so I can confirm it before we make one push to WordPress. Because what I have found as well is if I'm making constant pushes to WordPress, I host on SiteGround. SiteGround actually flags my IP address as a spammer. So I can't actually update websites, and I'm not spamming. I'm literally just trying to make these updates and save it back and forth. So it does make more sense to solve it locally and, you know, figure that out. Sometimes during that transition from local to live, things get left out or something, you know, breaks or whatever. So you really got to be careful with that. But more often than not, it's pretty quick to make it work, you know. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to read this output before I show you. Sometimes it'll just spit some shit in there. Okay. Okay. So it says, yeah, this is the right time to consolidate. Here's the proposal. Confirm or push back before I refactor. Okay, yeah. Let's expand this a little bit. So the name would be the primary. Yep. The name would be the dark. And that's in-page CTA white. Yes, okay. And then the header's different. Block, use the primary dark when we fill that. Okay. That's it. 4 total. Get every cache offer button in any new section uses one of these. What stays separate, not part of the system. Phone CTAs, inline text. Okay, yeah. Survey models. Lives in the global survey mode. Yeah. Twitter CTA. Great. How to think about it. Edit one class. Everything updates. What this requires. Update CSS in all 4 files. Yes. 2 questions. Okay. Do you want the header included in the refactor? Including it means I also have to resync globals. Excluding it means the header keeps its current class name, but it'll be the only button outside the system. Title case, the button text now or as the next step. You mentioned changing to title case instead of, okay, can either bundle it with the refactor. My recommendation is include the header. We're at the extra sync. Yeah, okay. And do title case as the next step so we don't conflate the refactor with, okay, great. Excluding it means, okay, my recommendations include the header. Yeah, okay, I'm with you. Yeah, I want to include the header as well. I don't see why we would exclude the header, and make the next task on the list to do title case on the buttons. Sometimes it'll just be like, hey, Isaac, you know, this is the correct thing to do, but you just let me know if you want to do things incorrectly. And I'm like, I guess we'll just do them correctly. But so, yeah, it's good that it asks, right? And it doesn't just go willy-nilly just trying to, you know, play the game here and mess things up, right? Let me verify which old classes are used. Okay, great. All right. Next time I do one of these videos, I'm going to have multiple projects so we can go back and forth between multiple projects and see what's going on, you know, and it'll keep it more entertaining as well, because it is quite slow. Sometimes I can find myself working on like 3 different things, but then sometimes, I don't know what it is, but sometimes it'll just cruise through one of them, and I'm just like in this flow and there's no stoppage, and it's like, oh wow. But then and so then I end up leaving those other 2 projects on hold, so it was pointless to open all 3 anyway. But this one, like, I'm starting to feel like some of this is more like, okay, you'll go off and you'll research. Like you can see right here, it's doing something for like 1 or 2 or 3 minutes. You can't see that, but over here it says it's doing something for like 2 or 3 minutes, right? So what I'll do is, like, I could have another agent working on another site for 2 or 3 minutes as well. But I really didn't want to bog down this recording session too, because that would not be good for you as well as the viewer. But maybe this isn't good for you either. Comment below if you want me to see, if it would make sense and be more entertaining to work on multiple things at once. That would also feed into my sort of, you know, monkey brain style of working here. I'm actually quite bored right now. Starting to refactor the index, replacing the old buttons. Boom. Great. I'm also going to try to maybe put something in my prompt here or something that will hide private information, like API keys and shit, so I can actually have Claude over here while, and you can look at it too while we're working on it. Okay. Cash offer. So basically what it was saying was, yeah, see how this one has get cash offer? It's GCO and they're all capitals. This one doesn't have that. This one doesn't have that. So we're going to have to mess with that class after, and it'll update that as the next task. Uh-oh. That broke. Let's see if it comes back after this update. Consolidate button system to 4 conical here. Push. Okay. We're going to refresh this page. Hard refresh. There we go. It's back. Boom. It did something. I had to delete something to get back in here and start actually editing it. I don't think we need to have the sticky thing there. I think that one's okay. This white background, I feel like it needs a texture, and I don't necessarily like this lined texture here either. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for like a regular white background. I don't know, man. Like even just like this particular customer is out in, like near the Cape. So there's like ocean and waves and I don't know, beach vibes, you know, this structural line thing just doesn't feel like it's the right thing. It could be like shingles on a house, right? Like a Cape Cod shingle house, like that sort of thing there could be kind of cool. Or sand, right? It could be like a light sand color or sand graphic back here or something that might work too. Like powdery sand, I don't know. Just spitballing some ideas here. Sometimes just a white background just makes it really boring. And other times it actually just sort of fits. You know, it just sort of fits. I do feel like we're gonna need something here, a white section here. Maybe we'll add reviews or something there. That's probably what I'll do once he has some. Also, if you're trying to sell your house in Massachusetts, right? If you're trying to sell a property that you have down there in Eastern Mass, Southeastern Mass, actually just Eastern Mass, contact this guy. He's good at what he does. This is not him. This is AI, just for clarification. I'm waiting on real photos. Them is done on to about contact in parallel since they share the same CSS structure. Okay, so it's working on a couple of big things right now. So I guess maybe what I'll do for this particular video here is I will maybe complete the video upon publishing to WordPress, so you get to see the full process here where it like publishes and it just updates and it's live on a website. Like that's pretty dope. Push padding and trim edits to demo site. Actually, you know what? After this, we'll build out a new page as well, and you'll get to see that too. It's just over here editing stuff. Here, I'll give you a sneak peek. There you go. Just editing stuff. Just deleting things, not deleting things. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go. Yeah, Claude's doing good this session. Claude's doing fine. It's like, well, can we share the session? Do you mind if we look at the transcript? Can Anthropic look at the transcript? No, we're not doing that right now. Thanks. Thanks for the feedback. All 4 page files are done. Now the global header, same treatment. Okay, great. Fantastic. So it's going to treat the global header very similarly. And then one of the last edits here is going to be the capital letter. I love the sticky thing here. That's such a nice little tweak. Whoop. Maybe we make this bold. That looks not bold enough. This text and font looks more bold than this does, which is weird. But maybe not. Yeah, I like the boldness of this. We'll have to play with that a little bit. Okay. Do I want to refactor? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Hold on. It's doing bash commands. It's probably going to show something real fast. Let me get out of there. Okay. Yeah, so it completed it. Created a bunch of different button variations, but knows exactly how it's working, which is great. Very important. Title case, the button text. Want me to roll through that now? Yes, please. Let's wrap up these edits. Let's wrap up these edits. You know what I mean? See what it does. And now, on this page, we're going to see right away, this one should have first letter caps, whatever. Alt caps? What the heck did it call it? Title case. That's what it is. Title case. How cool are these little icons, huh? They're like gradient icons here. I thought that was really nice looking. That fades in nice. Quite a bit of animation there. I really need a white section here. I'm trying to figure out what else we can do. Okay, boom. So the blue ones now have that. And on the home page, technically speaking, if done correctly, the blue one should also have that now. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And the baby blue one has it too. Sorry for the flashing. The baby blue one has it as well. Dark blue has it. Baby blue has it. Hey, let's go, baby. That's great. That is great. Okay. Done. Title case cross. Okay. Phone. Yes. Blah, blah, blah. One mid-sentence or call. Okay. Okay. Cool. State of the build. All edits. This is what it replied with. It said, hey, I'm done. Okay. So it's asking me to do something here. So let's see what it does. Button text. Get cash offer to get cash offer in all instances. Fantastic. Phone CTA next to the buttons here. Okay. One mid-sentence call to action. State of the build. All edits are local. Nothing push yet. Pending tasks remaining. 2 pushed. Number 2, push padding. Okay. Number 5, Plymouth section CTAs. Still need to add CTAs throughout, and the same on 5 and 6. Okay. So let's just finish that up then. All right. Let's just add the CTA buttons on the county page for Plymouth, and then actually, let me actually see if we need it on the contact page, because really there shouldn't be too many buttons on the contact page. However, we need the form on the contact page. There's no form, dude. What are we doing? Okay, so update the CTA buttons on the Plymouth County page. And then for the contact page, there is no form on there right now. There's no survey or anything. So I would much prefer the contact page to have two columns in the hero section, similar to the homepage, where it's just sort of the text on the left-hand side with that faded white gradient over the hero image. And then we have the survey on the right-hand side. And when the survey is on the right-hand side with that CTA button, and the CTA button with the phone number and stuff is on the left, just like the homepage, now we have a couple different CTA options there. And I don't really necessarily think we need more CTA options on the page per se. Until we scroll down, then we see the map and we see the location, then we see a couple FAQ questions and that sort of thing, which I think is totally fine. I think if we could just make it feel like it's a contact page and less a page with a bunch of random cards with way too much information for just like a phone number and an email. Here we go. And it's going to say, okay, I totally get it. Absolutely. I see where you're coming from. Let's do it. Searching patterns. Great. Keep searching patterns. All right. We are also going to open up. You know, I'm going to switch this. Hold on. Oh, man. I just lost my thing. What the heck happened here? I just lost Claude. What the heck? Where's that coming from? Oh, it's over here. I got to figure out how to get. It's like off screen right now. How do I get that? I have no idea how to get that. It's editing. It's working. Place writer. I don't want to stop it from working, so I'm going to let that rock out for a second. Oh, here it is. Nope. There we go. Wow, that was crazy. I don't know what happened there. Just trying to move it. Okay. So funny, the type of stuff that happens. Okay, I don't really need to see that now. All right, great. So we're back over here. We're looking at this. I am trying to open up another page because it was starting to do a different page here. And I believe it was working on this one. Is this the home page? No, this is, yeah, this is the good one. Okay. So there we go. It added buttons here. It's adding some more buttons. That button looks good. We don't need a call to action button here. That map should probably be in this section. I don't see why it wouldn't be up here. And then we would, so maybe I just move that section down. Like all of this, I could probably put all the way down here. Here's something that I like to do, which you might actually find kind of interesting. There's a Chrome extension called Go Full Page. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. But what I'm going to do is there you go, you can see it now. It's capturing this full page. And then when it captures it, I can see a good layout. I teach this in Danny University. You can have a layout where you can see, okay, it's light, dark, dark, and you get to see the contrast all the way down the page. And if it's like too heavy on one color all the way down the page, you know, as a customer, you're going to feel like, oh my God, like if it's at night or something like that, you know, it's just bright, blinding you in the face. Nobody wants that. All right, we're going to open this. All right. Let's do this and we'll open that up. Here we go. Whoops. Here we go. So, for instance, we'll open in preview. Then we'll be able to zoom in. Okay. So if I at a glance here, right, you can see this actually looks pretty good. However, this section right here should be dark if we keep it the same. But this section right here, it just seems like it should be moved down, right? It seems like it should be moved down to here, which is also not great because it's got like white white, blue, whitish, blue, white. I don't know what just happened. Hold on one second. Maybe there's a timer or something I had on my computer. I don't know if you heard that. Some timer or something that went off. Let's see. That was weird. Yeah, so it'd be like white, 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 whatever. Maybe it's telling me I have to stop recording after that. Who knows? We'll see. If this video dies, I'll publish another one. Okay. Let's go to the contact page now and see if it updates something on the contact page, because that's a big deal. Oh, look at this. That's the contact page right now. Oh, it's so funny. It's a horrible contact page, huh? All right. This should not have a limit of 55 minutes, though. I don't think I have a limit on here for 55 minutes. That'd be crazy if I did. Okay. So anyways, as I was saying, it's a nice, you got to scroll through here and see like, oh, how do I want to line this up? Where do I want to line this up? Should it go down to the bottom here, you know? And I try to keep it a little bit contrasty as you scroll down the page. So now let's delete the promise section. Yeah, man, this is a horrible looking page right now, huh? There we go. Contact Joe. He'll solve all your problems. Or just text me right now. Boom. That's a cool one too. Yeah, I'm thinking I don't like this gray background here. I got to figure this out. I really don't like it. I got to figure out what I want to do to get that new background in there. Okay, want me to publish or hold to review first? Push time, edits all local. Let's refresh this. This page does look better. But see how it's like white, white? I don't know if I want that. Let's try. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to just paste that in here just so it knows what section I'm talking about. Okay, on the contact page for this section here, can you make this section background dark blue? I don't like the horizontal lines there. For some reason, I'm not liking the angled lines. And I also feel like the hero section's white, then we scroll down to this like weird gray, blue, white stripe line thing going on, and then we have a white section, and then we have the last blue CTA. So it just sort of feels like it's got to be a dark blue background up here. And could you also present me with like 5 different ideas other than this angled line for the background? I'm kind of stumped right now when it comes to what I want. Originally, I was thinking we could have some sort of like sand texture or something like that, or just a more subtle, maybe classier SVG design instead of this lined thing. So obviously I just keep asking for like other things that weren't in the initial build first, right? So you got to be careful because you could just go way off and then it gets confused and it loses context and all that sort of stuff. But it's searching right now. Hopefully it'll figure out what it wants to do with its life here. And all of these edits, I've only spent $16, but I have been doing this for an hour. And I feel like, you know, some of these really should have been a little quicker for me to edit. Which is why I started making content like this, because this is an hour-long video. This is like long-form video. You're chilling with me, you're hanging out with me, which is great. And then I'm working anyway. I'm doing this stuff anyway. I'm chatting. It wouldn't make sense for me to record an hour-long, do this for an hour and then not have content and then have to go figure out how to make an hour-long video after this. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't line up with who I'm trying to be in life, you know? Applying a dark blue background now, then I'll pick... Then I'll lay out 5 texture options you can pick from. Yeah. Okay. Okay. See, this blue, like solid blue, it just doesn't look great. So that's when we add a texture, right? It's doing something now. So what's it going to give me for stuff? Let's see. It says, here's what I can do. Section is now dark. 5 texture overlays. Each is a single background image line you'd add. Okay, whichever feels right. Option 1, film grain. No, I don't want film grain. Faint dot grid. No, I don't really want that either. Topographic contour lines. Oh, that could be kind of cool. Let's try that. Constellations, scattered stars, a few dozen tiny blue dots placed. Not a grid, reads as subtle sparkle, more expressive. My recommendation, try option 1, film grain. It always goes to film grain, dude. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Topographic contour lines. Something about that sounds pretty dope. But also, yeah, okay. Let's see what I have connected to for stuff that it could use. What number was that? Number 3. Let's try option 3. Let's just see what option 3 does. It could be really bad. I feel like it's told me that before, like topical, whatever, and it just doesn't look that great. Whoops. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. I like how the about has a darker background too. The contact has white. The cash buyer has white. This one has white. Interesting. It's interesting that the about has that. I actually I think I prefer a dark header. But it's not the end of the world. I can also tell, let's see here. I can also tell that may not be the same form. Is it not the same form? Oh, just more text. That's all. Okay. Topographic. Here we go. Like, I don't know if that looks great. You know what I mean? I don't know if that looks great. Take a look and let me know. I just don't like that. I think that's not good. I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. All right. I think that's that for now. I don't know if this thing is going to stop recording soon, so I'm actually going to end this video here. I was going to publish it. Basically, this being published would just, we'd be looking at exactly what we're doing and we get it over to WordPress just using Claude, and I've built a little plugin that sends it right over. So it's kind of dope, honestly. And I think that I built this before WordPress allowed me to do other cool stuff as well. But anyways, oh, I can't. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, something turned off here. Very interesting. I can't even switch back to my main thing. Hold on. Weird. I don't know what the heck's going on here. Yeah, I gotta stop this. Why is that not switching? Oh, it's something is inactive. There's a collection that's inactive or something. Very interesting. Huh. Maybe I close this. Let's see. Stream Deck. And open Stream Deck. Will it work? No, it will not work. Interesting. All right, I gotta stop this. I don't know what happened, guys. Sorry about that. We'll sort it out. And comment below. Thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll talk to you soon.